My dad replaced me with my step-siblings. He skipped my graduation and left me out of his 50th birthday. So I showed up uninvited and handed him the legal papers for the college fund he stole from me. Hey everyone, this is a tough one to share. And I've really struggled with whether to put it out there. It's a lot, but I just need to get it off my chest. So here goes. My dad, Mitchell, and I were inseparable when I was growing up. He was my absolute hero, no question. My parents divorced when I was 8, but it wasn't messy. They made sure to keep things civil for my sake. I lived with my mom during the week, but weekends were always dedicated to dad. And those weekends, they were the highlight of my entire week. Every Friday after school, I'd practically dive into his car, buzzing with excitement for whatever adventures he had planned. Dad wasn't the type to just sit me in front of the TV while he did his own thing. He went out of his way to make every single weekend memorable. We'd go hiking, or he'd teach me how to fix stuff around the house. Sometimes we just relax watching documentaries because he knew I loved soaking up random trivia. He always told me how proud he was. If I nailed a test or even something small like winning a spelling bee, he'd look me straight in the eye and say, "You're my smart, strong girl." Those words meant the world to me. For a long time I truly believed nothing could ever come between us. But then I turned 13 and things began to shift. That's when my dad met Camille. Initially I didn't have any issues with her. She was energetic and kind, always asking about my schoolwork or what books I was reading. She had 2 children from a previous marriage. Evan, who was 12, and Maddie, 10. They seemed perfectly nice, and for a while I even thought it would be cool to have step-siblings. But then they moved in, and that's when everything truly started to change. Not long after, Camille quit her job, claiming she wanted to dedicate herself to family life. I didn't really think much of it at the time, but it meant Dad had to work even longer hours to support everyone. He started getting home later and later, and when he was home, his entire focus seemed to be on Camille and her children. I tried my best to adapt. I told myself it was just a new family dynamic, and eventually things would settle. But as time went on, settling just meant I was slowly fading into the background. Dinner conversations revolved exclusively around Evan's baseball games or Maddie's ballet recitals. If I tried to share something I was excited about, like a science fair project I'd poured my heart and soul into, I'd get a quick, "That's great, sweetie," before the topic immediately circled back to them. It wasn't just the little things, though. Camille's kids consistently took precedence no matter what. I recall one summer, I was really looking forward to visiting my paternal grandparents, something we did every single year. But Camille suggested a theme park instead, because Maddie had never been. And just like that, my plans were canceled. Mine. The real turning point hit during my junior year of high school. One evening, Mom sat me down, her expression serious. "There's something you need to know about your college fund," she began. She then told me Dad had used it, all of it. I was completely stunned. "What do you mean, he used it?" It turned out he'd completely emptied the fund to pay for Evan's private school tuition. Camille had apparently convinced him that Evan was struggling in public school and needed a more supportive environment. So the money Dad had diligently saved for my future, he spent on her son. Mom only discovered this while going through some old paperwork with Dad, and felt I had an absolute right to know. I didn't even wait to process the information. That night, I called my dad and flat out asked him if it was true. At first, he tried to downplay it, saying Evan really needed the extra support. He told me, "We'll figure something out for your college." I sat there, phone glued to my ear, absolutely speechless. "Figure something out?" I repeated, my voice barely a whisper. "That was my college fund, Dad. How could you